up, you guys? Thank you so much for clicking on the video and welcome to another installment of Mornin Oats. I'm super excited to talk about the topic that we have today, but before we get into it, I want to let you guys know that this Sunday I will be at a meetup in Balboa Park with a bunch of people. Brian's going to be there. I have it on my phone, so Brian's going to be there. Morgan Losing, who was in a video recently, is going to be there. Her sister's going to be there. Brian's girlfriend's going to be there. Brian's friend Kurt is going to be there, and then another YouTuber called Miss Supreme Banana is going to be there. So Balboa Park from 12 to 3. I won't be there until 1 o'clock because I'm actually going to be playing drums at church on that Sunday. But if you're in the area, I would love for you to come. If you want more information, go to my Instagram. The post is there. But I just wanted to let you guys know. I wanted to put it on video. There will be a meetup this Sunday on the 12th. Super excited to meet you guys. Now let's get into the topic. So the topic of today's video, as you can obviously tell from the title, I want to talk a little bit about my past, about stuff that I haven't really talked about too much on the channel. Now I have mentioned this before in other videos, but I just kind of wanted to make a whole video about this because I feel like it's kind of interesting. And you know, the reason that I actually even thought about this video or thought about this topic, I was actually doing an Instagram live earlier today when I was doing my cardio, and I started talking about this topic, and as I was talking about it, a lot of people seemed really interested. So then I posted on Twitter, would you guys like to hear about this? And a lot of you guys were really interested too, so I figured it would be cool to have just a whole video about, you know, my past with school and, you know, the things that I've kind of been through. So that's what we're going to be talking about. So all the way back in the very beginning, I remember for me, school was just never really that easy. Like I always felt like I was a little bit behind the other kids in the class, like especially in like math class and stuff like that. There would be times when we were first learning how to multiply and first learning all of this stuff. I remember the other kids, I just thought to myself, why is it that all of these other kids are you know, getting all of this stuff and it seems to make sense to them, and to me it just felt like I was trying to learn a different language. And the same with English. I was a little bit better with English. Math was definitely the thing that I struggled with the most, and I remember I would just, like, this was, I think it was second grade, I would come home from school and we were learning, I don't even exactly remember what it was, but I remember I would come home from school and I would literally like be trying to do my homework, and I would literally start to cry because I was so frustrated, and I just didn't understand why I couldn't understand what all the other kids in my class it seemed like it just came to them really easily. And for me, I would struggle so hard and try so hard to get the answers right and learn and stuff, but it just never really came to me. And I just remember how frustrated, like in second grade, being that frustrated, and it was really, really, really tough. Actually, you know what? I think my mom's here right now, so I'm gonna have her kind of explain this a little bit more because, you know, obviously my memory from when I was in second grade isn't the best, but hopefully she'll be able to give a little bit better insight. So let's see if she'll do it.
I did the spotlight shift.
I know, that's where she's trying to sit. I like your shirt.
It's nice, huh? One of my favorite people in the world.
What I was talking about right before I got you was when I was in like second grade and I would come home and I would be like super frustrated. So do you remember that time?
I remember, of course I remember that time, vaguely. I remembered that we were beginning to see an issue. I'd gotten you guys back, and you guys were in school, and you were at Chase Avenue School, and I had a lot of support there. But we were starting to see an issue with your homework, and I remember one time specifically, I don't know if it was second grade or third grade, but you had to write like 100,245, right, in words.
Oh gosh.
And you could not do it.
Yeah.
You couldn't. There was like, I was trying to help you, but you just had, it was like beyond you. So I talked to the school nurse. She was very supportive in knowing that I had gotten you guys back, and she was trying to help in any way. So we talked a few times, and she would observe you in class and have teachers make notes. And so they decided that they would do what they call an IEP, which is an individual education plan.
Okay.
And they tested you and found out that when you learn things, like it would go into your mind, but when you tried to get it out on paper, there was a disconnect.
Yeah. Still
that
is there, yeah.
That was your learning disability, basically. And so your IEP followed you all the way through high school. And it could have followed you and did follow you into college. But there were some issues that followed you into college, and I remember, so this happened. You came, because I was working at the college. You came in to see me at the office that I was working at. And when you left, this lady that worked there came in and said to me, "Oh my gosh, did you see that kid, how big he is? Did you see him? He's huge." And I stood up and I looked her in the eyes and I said, that's my son. And even now, starting to get emotional because I had to leave work that day. I was going to maybe hurt her. I just remember just how sad I felt for you, knowing that if someone could say something like that to me directly, what kind of things you must be, you know, like must be occurring with you. And then I remember you telling me once that you liked going to school, but you were having a hard time taking notes. So that's all part of that learning disability of it coming in and then not getting down on paper.
Everybody.
And then when you told me that it was really hard to sit in a chair. Because they were those kind that
they didn't fit.
The desks they had, you slid into them, and they were like the old school school desks.
So now she has a popsicle. I don't know how that happened, but I just wanted to get your perspective on, especially stuff when I was younger, just because, you know, like when you're that young, you think you remember stuff a certain way, and sometimes it's not true. Right. So
sometimes as a kid, you like think you add things.
Yeah, exactly. And I know.
But do you remember what I really remember was middle school? Your IEP, like you really struggled in middle school, which was 6th, 7th, 8th grade. And
middle school
you just were not, that's when you were getting
when I was getting bigger.
Really big, and the running the mile
Yeah.
was a nightmare.
Yeah.
A nightmare for you. You would come home, because you guys would run every Friday, right? You would come home and tell me, well, I didn't finish it, or I did, and I did it in 20 minutes, or was the last one out there, and you know, it's really embarrassing. But for 8th grade graduation, I think that was like the worst week for you, because they made you leave school that week. Yeah,
I wasn't even able to go. I remember that. I wasn't even able to go. Literally, they didn't let me go to the last week of my 8th grade year because of just my grades and how pretty much just how they were not good. Because like I said, I wasn't good in high school and especially in middle school, and especially then, like I had no confidence at all in myself, so I just didn't even really try that much either.
And I remember when just a minute. I remember when the principal or somebody, I called the school to talk to them about it. I said, you can't do that. And he said, oh, yes, we can. It was humiliating for you, for me. I felt terrible, like, oh my gosh, I totally blew it with this kid. And another thing that really surprised me is, okay, so they're not going to let him go or walk with this class, but they're going to move him on. Not that I wanted them to keep you back, right? But it just didn't make sense to me, and I know that impacted you that whole summer. That was hard. Yeah, it was hard. All
right, well, thank you very much. This has probably been the most chaotic part of the video with you being crazy, huh? Say, I don't know how to be quiet.
Yeah.
I just can't stand still.
Thank you, Dee Dee.
Thank you. All right, well, I'm gonna try and pick up where we left off. That was kind of hectic right there. I apologize. So, you know, going from middle school, and like that was really, really hard for me, especially like I didn't even really remember that, but that did happen. Like they didn't even let me, you know, walk with my class just because of my grades and how, like I said, I just had no confidence when I was that age, especially being like the biggest kid in the school and then not being good at, you know, at the academics at all. I just felt like I was kind of lost, and not being able to walk with my class at the time. I remember thinking like, oh well, I don't have to go to the last week of school, like this is cool. But it was definitely something that like it was embarrassing. If someone asked me, it's not like I wanted to tell them that, you know what I mean? So let's fast forward into high school now. I am still in special ed. I'm in special ed classes now. The special ed that I was in was RSP, which stands for Resource Specialist Program. So it's not like super intense special ed, but basically it was just like really, it was just slowed down, but pretty much the same. I was learning the same stuff, but it was in a slowed down way. And it was like in a way that could, like my mom said, you know, the way that I learn is if I hear something and I have to write it down, that's just really difficult. So obviously we tried to work around that. So in high school, I was in special ed classes up until actually 11th grade. And when I got into 11th grade, I was actually able to go to the normal ed, the regular ed classes. So I was able to kind of move out of that program. But when I was in high school, I still always had like a counselor that I could go to if I needed help. I tried to, you know, do as much as I could in the regular ed and not ask too much from them, because I tried to prove to myself that I was, you know, able to do this. And, you know, if we fast forward all the way through high school, I ended up actually being able to graduate with my class and walk with my class. So that was really cool. That was, you know, a big accomplishment for me. Literally right as soon as I could, I went to, obviously I didn't get picked up by any like, you know, big colleges or anything like that, but I did go to to community college here in my town. So the community college that I went to was called Cuyamaca Community College, and when I went, I actually pretty much still had that IEP that my mom was talking about. That still kind of came with me. So if I was in a class and I did need extra help, I was able to kind of the same thing, go to a counselor and talk to them and tell them, you know, hey, this teacher, it's going a little bit too fast. I need a little bit more help or a little bit more time to do these, you know, assignments and stuff like that. If I'm being completely 100% honest though, being in college was terrifying to me because I just felt like I really didn't belong there. Like, I remember I took a Spanish class, and honestly, like, I feel like the professor just passed me because he liked me, because I remember the whole class, I tried to learn, like, I tried so hard to learn Spanish, and I just wasn't getting it. And it was the kind of that same feeling that I felt when I was in like 2nd or 3rd grade. Like, I just want to understand and I want to know, but I wasn't picking it up, and it felt like everyone else was, so that was really difficult. But I think that the professor saw how hard I was trying, and like I would really try on the test, so I think, I'm not 100, obviously I can't be 100% sure on this, but I think he gave me a C in that class, and I remember when I saw that, I was like, wow, because I didn't miss. I went to every class. It's not like I skipped, but I definitely was not getting very high grades on all of the tests and stuff like that. Another thing about college is when I was actually in college, I never took a real math class or like a real English class. I ended up taking like a lot of, because I was a music major, so I took a lot of music classes and things that were for my major, but I didn't take like the general ed like math or English because I was just literally just way too scared to even try, because I felt like I was just gonna be left behind, and that was just something I couldn't deal with at the time. So I ended up going for about 2 semesters, which is pretty much a year worth of college. So I guess I never really technically like dropped out per se. I just never went back after that year. So after I left college is when I started just working, you know, working jobs like any kid out of college, right? I first started working at a shoe store, then a grocery store, and just like a bunch of jobs. But the thing is, like, they were just all jobs that I got paid for, right? Like, that's all I cared about was the money that I got out of them. I wasn't very passionate about it, so it's not like I really tried extra hard at the job because there was no moving up really anyways. So like, that's where I thought my life was gonna go, and that's why I'm so thankful for YouTube and for this platform, because it's given me purpose. It's given me something to do. It's given me, you know, more than just working a job that I'm not super passionate about to pay the bills. It's given me something to work towards and to be passionate about, and I'm so thankful for that, and I'm so thankful for you guys listening and caring, because like, if anything, the point of this video is just like, if you are struggling in school right now, if you're, you know, in high school or you're in college or whatever it might be, I am in no way trying to say you should leave school or like school is bad. That's not what I'm trying to say. But I am trying to say, like, if you feel like it might not be for you and you just don't feel like it's working out, I just want to say, like, there might be something else for you, because I know for me, this has been greater than anything I think I've ever could have gone to college for, because this is literally what I am more passionate about than anything on the face of the earth, is this right here, and I'm able to share that with you guys, and that is, to me, is invaluable. Like, I can't explain how much that means to me. So I know this video has been all over the place. It's a little difficult when Faith wants to be in the video. She's a little bit crazy, but that's why I love her. But you know, there's like 2, I guess, main things that I want this video to do. One is obviously I just want to share you guys my history and my journey and where I've been, where I started from. You know, I love sharing with you guys, and I love you guys to know a little bit more about me. So obviously, hopefully it did that for you guys. And then secondly, hopefully this is able to inspire anyone out there. You know, if you're in college and you're doing well, hopefully this inspires you to keep going and you know, chasing your dreams and work for what you're good at, right? And if you are in college and you're maybe struggling, I'm not trying to say that you should drop out, because that is not what I'm trying to do with this video, but hopefully it just lets you know that there are other options. The college isn't the only thing, right? So hopefully it's able to do that too. So again, thank you guys so much for watching the video. I know that it's kind of all over the place. I don't really know exactly how I'm gonna edit this, but I'll figure it out. But again, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. There was one other thing that I wanted to say. Oh yeah, look up my fam.
Bye everybody, have a nice day.
Alright, thank you.
I gotta see something else.
What?
Look at my fam!
Obey the warning signs, and when there are flashing lights or wigwags, don't attempt to cross until they come to a complete stop.